Okay. Okay. What you're going to be seeing today, it's NSGP grant, non-for-profit security grant, allocated by the Congress to place of worship because of domestic terrorism. It's free. You don't have to pay it back. It's $150,000 per each church building. If you apply for personage, that would be another 150,000, up to 3 buildings. I'm going to go through these slides very quickly because this is what my Missouri uh, grant manager sent to me when I told her I wanted to make a presentation about this grant. So I'm going to go through it very fast and we can do a question later on. So the first slide is the information there for the year 2024. So when you fill in the application, make sure now that is the year 2024, okay? Because I'm going to be going pretty fast. The application deadline is on May 10, which is Friday, okay? So make sure that between now and Friday, you are able to turn in your application. Okay, I'm going to be going on. Okay, I think I missed the page. Bear with me because the way the computer is set up, it doesn't show everything on the screen. I was going to show you a page whereby I have it in my hand. They give us, if you are going to be in St. Louis urban area or Kansas City urban area, there's somewhere you have to pick up from. However, if you are in a rural area, there's a totally different designation. They apply S to that. That's the page I was trying to get to. Let's see. Look like it was kind of. Okay, here we go. This is the page right here. If you are in an urban area, you do NSGP. And if you are in a rural Kansas City, you see their designation there. However, if you are in a non-urban area, it's NSGPS. Understand that? Okay. Now moving on. The deadline time for Friday is 5 p.m. And last time I had to battle with that because I had to hit the deadline. But you don't have to do that if you work methodically and based on what I'm going to say today. One of the hints I'm going to get you is this. Go through this form and write the answer down. So when you get to that point, you just click and paste, and within about 2 hours, you can finish. However, if you don't do that, you will run into problems trying to get the answer from your head, and sometimes you don't even remember everything you need to put on there. So what I did is I write them down, use your Word program, and then just copy and paste. Have time to think about your answer, because when you just writing it down, I mean, when you just fill in the form, you might not remember a lot of things you need to remember. Okay, I'm moving on right now. I'm going to page 8. They talk about this NSF goal is to improve, increase physical, cyber, all kinds of situations that can protect people from domestic terrorism. That's what the issue is right here. So when you apply, just make sure everything is targeted towards domestic terrorism. Don't tell them you want to replace your roof, so you're going to use the money. You're not going to be able to do that, except if you can associate the roof replacement with the security of the church. Maybe robbers came through the roof one time and then you want to fix it. Maybe that's possible. But the point I'm trying to say is that this is for security of the building and the church and your members. Okay, they have a different designation, like I just talked about, NSGP. You're going to see a lot of repetition in here. Why? Because this is the way the system is set up in order to give us more information and to strengthen certain facts, okay? So I'm going on right now on another slide. Okay, the amount of money that was given for the urban area and the S area, which is the out of urban area, is $137 million for each. So I'm looking at the estimate of $274 million for this project. For example, if you have three buildings, you can get up to $450,000. But one thing they ask you to do, you have to fill investment justification form for each of the building that you are seeking for. Now, I'm going to go to form number 9 because this has been an issue. Okay, I want you to look at that. This is a big issue. A lot of people have asked me this question about getting 501c3. I want to read what the Internal Revenue says. The Internal Revenue Service does not require organizations such as churches, mosques, synagogues to apply for and receive the recognition of exemption under the 501c or the IRS. Such organizations are automatically exempt if they meet the requirement of the 501c3. These organizations are not required to provide proof of exemption. So when you get to that place, just bypass it because it doesn't apply to you. Now, if you want to put in there, if you have 501c, fine. However, if you have any other business that is related to the church, that might be a totally different issue because some people have mentioned that. But for this issue right now, you do not need 501c3, okay? So just bypass that and move on. Next slide. You are considered a place of worship, okay? So that is what you select in your application when you get to that point. When we ask you to, what type of entity it is, you are a place of worship. Moving on. Here we go. Again, they're giving us this designation, St. Louis, Kansas City, and outside your brand center. You see that thing in red, outside your brand center. So for me, I'm in Macon. I just pick NSGPS. The problem is when they even give you a map of that area. Here we go. They give you a map of our area to let you know all other areas is NSGS. The only thing is when I was trying to fill the application, I didn't see NSGS, but I see state. So I selected state. Hopefully that will take care of that. I don't know. I already sent a question to my grant manager. So they tell you the people that are ineligible. So you don't have to worry about that. You as a church, you are eligible. I'm moving on because I have so many files to cover. Okay, so we're going on. We're still talking about ineligible organizations and stuff. Okay, moving on from there. Okay, you need ID number, entity number, I'm sorry, unique entity number. Sometimes it used to be so difficult for me to be able to get through there. But now they've made it so easy that you can be able to get your unique identity, unique entity ID. However, if you don't have unique entity ID, you can still apply, okay? But to make sure when you get your award or while you're waiting, you apply for a unique identity identifier. Because when we apply and receive ours, we didn't have unique identity identifier, but we get it later on, but you're still going to need it, just to let you know. Okay, I'm moving on right now. They're telling you how to get unique identity. Oh, another thing I'd like to tell you, you might not be able to write anything down in terms of the slides. I'm going to send it to our presiding elder. Everything I'm going to present today, in addition to the fact that we're recording it, is going to be going to our presiding elder, and he can send those forms to you all so you can go through the same thing that I'm going through right now. So here it's telling you how to get your unique identity ID number. I'm moving on because we got so many slides to cover. Okay, here we go. These are the requirements: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. pay attention to this. These are the 5 requirements that they want. Now, don't worry about the 501c. We just talked about that because you don't need that. Vulnerability and risk assessment. You can find somebody to do it for you, or you can have your trustees and stewards do a walk through the church, and you can do it by yourself. Just look at where people can break it into the church, where the door is vulnerable, the windows are vulnerable, and some other issues we have in the past. Now, investment justification is a big form, actually the only form they're going to give to you to fill out. Okay, so that is where all the information is located that you're going to present to them. Of all the information you're going to give them, the investment justification is the biggest. And you really need to work on it, because if you notice, they allocate points to each of the segments. So look at those points and see. Okay, let me go on. So the next one is mission statement. You know the mission statement of your church, just write it down. Now don't go and copy AME mission. Don't go and copy the AME mission statement and put it in your application. You can use part of it, because you don't want all the pastors to be having the same mission statement. You know, I mean, put it in your words. You know, as Christian organization, we cater to the poor, you know, emotionally, spiritually. We open our church for everybody, regardless of colors and ethnicity, and all kinds of stuff. So you put it in your words, and it's going to be different from the guy down the line. One of the things they do not like is this repetitive answer from about 5 or 20 different people. They mentioned it one time because they thought that you just copying each other. The next one is audit, a financial audit. As a church, we don't do financial audit except in some unusual situations. So give them your finance just for 1 year, okay? And that's all. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be audited.
Excuse me, Reverend Vidal. I have a question right here.
Yeah.
This is Jackie Payton from St. James.
Okay.
Reverend, when you say our audit and our financial statements for 1 year, did you say?
Yeah.
So is it acceptable to give, okay, you know, when we have our district, our
annual conference?
No, not our annual conference. What do we have when we have our quarterly, when the elder comes for the quarter, those statements, those financial statements that we give to him, then are those acceptable?
I believe it's acceptable if up to 1 year. That's how I did mine. I put a quarterly report with 3 or 4 of my 3 of some months, a total of 12 months. So that's what I did.
Okay, gotcha.
So that should be acceptable. Yeah. Where am I now? I'm in 21. Okay. Now here's a big one. Each applicant must complete a vulnerability risk assessment unique to your investment justification. Unique to the site the investment justification is being submitted to. One of the things they're telling you here is that the investment justification, like I said, is the biggie. I have to go through that over and over and over because it has different segments in there. And when you look at it, they will allocate points to it. Now look at what they said though. Submit your application through web grant system. Don't submit it to any, just pick up and send it to email, send it to web grant system, because there is a system that they put in place right there. Okay, item requested for funding and IG should directly link to the threat vulnerability. Now, here's one of the things I'm trying to explain earlier. If you said your door is insecure and it can easily get broken into, when you go to where you're going to solve that problem, get a door. Don't get a new roof. Get a door like a secure door. If you say you got about 20 windows, and those windows are easily broken into, you got about 2 different levels of risk to your windows. Somebody can break in, or a bomb can actually destroy those windows, you know. So you get what they call a blast-resistant windows. You will see it in the list of items for you to select. Or to have a secure window where somebody won't be able to break in, or to have a fence around your church. You will see that in there, in list of choices for you to be. I'm going to go to number 23 now. Okay, here we go. Okay, here is the issue with the investment justification form. If you try to open it, you may not be able to open it because it's a PDF file. So what you do is that you download it, right-click, download it on your computer. After you download it on your computer, you go to your Adobe program and take it to your computer and click it using the Adobe to open the investment justification form. They even suggested that there because it's a PDF file that was designed by the state, but you can't open it directly. You have to go through the Adobe. Now, if the Adobe doesn't open it, update your Adobe. I had to do that last year. Okay, I'm moving on. Like I said, 150. I lost that one. I was going to say 150. Anyway, $150,000 is given to each church, up to $450,000. For example, your parsonage, you can use that too, or any other building. Okay, I'm moving on now. Okay, what am I? 24. Okay, that's what I just described is what they say right here. If you receive an error opening your IJ form, investment justification form, try saving the file to your computer. You see it in red, right? And then open the form at the saved location to your computer. Actually, you use it using the Adobe. That's what I did. That would work for me. Let me see. So, and then you'll be able to fill it out. Okay. Moving on. Okay. Application I expected to self-identify with one of the following. Ours is religious. I'm moving on. Ideology-based spiritual religion organization. Okay, another thing they say here, I want you to pay attention to here. They say investment justification is the only document that is submitted to FEMA. All these other information they gather, they keep that by the state. So make sure that everything that is important that you want to put on this application to justify the risk that you have is put on that investment justification form. This is why I said, write it down, work on it for, a couple of days. I know you don't have too many days now because it's supposed to be by Friday. Because I keep on adding stuff to it because like I said, when you started filling form, you can remember a lot of things that you need to put on there. And then after the I said, I just remember something I could put on there. So make sure everything that is needed is included in there. That's what he's saying, that be sure to include all information regarding the project in the IJ as it will need to stand on its own when it goes to what? FEMA. Okay, moving on. Now, like I said, this information I'm giving to you, these slides, I'm going to send it to presiding elder. So everything that I'm saying, you should be able to read it on your own. But I'm going to be giving some nuggets, somewhere where I have some issues and how to correct that. Okay. Here on part one, this is when you fill the application. I already filled out the building and all this other good stuff to fill out. I mean, I don't think that is difficult for you to do. The only thing let me also tell you something you need to do. When you enter I will show you where to go to the state site. When you go there, I feel if you applying for the first time, okay, listen to what I say now because I ran into serious problem. When you log in, when you apply, put all the information there and send it to them. They will send you a password and a user word. Use those password and user word alone for this time being. Don't try to change the password because there's nobody's going to be fighting with you with the password. They know everything. They can go into your system anyway. The reason why I say that is this. In the process of you trying to change the password, you could get stuck. And this happened to me for 4 hours. And it happened to me before. I can't explain all that was in there. But if you want to do it, fine. But I'm just kind of warning you, use the password and the user. In fact, what I do is I copied it, put it on my Word program. I just copied the username, I copied the password, and click in. It works fine. But if they have to keep on telling you trying to put a new password in, that causes a lot of problems that you don't really need. Now, when you put that information in, when they say you the password and the user word, it takes a while, about a couple of hours. If you do it at night, it will take the following day because I do believe human beings actually look at that form because I talk to them and they will send you the username and the password. So now you go back to the site, you put the username and password. Then they will also send you a code, a one-time code to justify you are who you are. So when you receive that code, you enter it in. Now you are able to get into their website. Okay, all right. So I'm going on now to number 20, page 28. Okay, non-organization supply. Based on your mission statement, here is the issue right here. Please summarize the organization mission, ideology, and belief. Select the primary organization type, drop down bars, and all kinds of stuff like that. You'll be able to draw it. But the point they're saying here is be very careful when you put in your ideology, because somewhere they ask, can your ideology be the reason why your church is open to an attack? And I say yes. Why? Because we are African American AME church, and there is history of attack to AME church for many years. Now, page 29, we come to what we call the investment justification form. Here is the one that we've been talking about, and you're going to fill it. Put the name of your organization in there, district number, city, put all those good stuff in there. Whether you listen or not listen. Like I said, this is one of the biggest issue with this grant, the investment justification. Okay, here we go. I can't explain it. So you can write all kinds of information that, like I said, based on, okay, here's the question that I was talking about. Based on your mission statement, please summarize your organization's mission, ideology, and belief. Sometimes you see some of the repetitive questions. Why did you do that? I don't know. So I guess they want to know if your ideology can lead to your being attacked or whatever. What is your primary organization site? Anyway, you fill all that out. I'm going to be moving on now to the next slide, 33. Yeah, here's where you answer all the questions they ask you. I'm not going to go into all that. You can see that by yourself. Okay, part 2. Now you see what has happened in here. I want you to look at the screen. They have now given 5 points out of 40 to this question right here. Describe the location's symbolic value as a highly recognized national historical institution. Tell them how important this building is. Is that I told them, hey, our building was in 18 something, it's historical, whatever. Anything you want to put on there to show that this building is a landmark and maybe liable to extreme attack. Select if applicable lastly anything. This is another difficult question in terms of what have you done in terms of prevention protection? Well, maybe some churches have gotten an alarm. Maybe you have called the police to watch the system. Maybe something has happened in your church that you have to find a police report. I don't know. So anything you can put on there. You only get 5 points for that. So I'm moving on to the next one. And then when they explain this, they will also give you the form. Okay, here's the form right here, something they just explained. Okay, I'm going to the next one, number 35. Okay, here we go. Now, here's the big issue. All of you look at the screen. This is the big, I want you to see how much, oh, I just lost that. I want you to see how much they allocated to those points. 15 points. Threat. vulnerability, and potential consequences. Those are the things I believe you should write down instead of just thinking about it. Threat. What threat do you think you have? Is it possible there might be some gang warfare around your area? Is it possible there might be some KKK or whatever, or anything that you consider a threat, or maybe somebody got murdered in that area, or some churches been burglarized, or all those other things as threat? I believe something that's already happened. You can. Now, the vulnerability is how vulnerable your building is to terrorist attack, okay, and potential consequences. Those are the major three things you want to make sure. Remember, look at that 15 points out of 40. It's almost half of the points you're going to allocate. So this is where you need to work very hard on this part, okay, so that you don't lose any points here. Okay, I'm going to be moving on because we might have other time to talk about that later on if we have time. Okay, like I said, they talk about it and they show you the application to fill out. Another thing you can do, you can print the investment justification form. You can print it out and just write on it, or have a trial by practicing doing it on your computer. That's where I did mine. Okay. Number 9, this one here, facility admin. What they want to know, from what I understand, they want you to tell them what you have selected, describe each proposed activity investment, identify the vulnerability described, and each activity investment. They want you to justify selected product to solve security problems. That is what I saw here in terms of me filling it out, because I was trying looking for why are they asking for that. Anyway, they allocate 9 points to that. So I'm moving on. Okay, let me go to the big one, number 41. Okay, here is the big issue. I want you to look at 3 columns in here. The first column is the equipment and the number. For example, if you say you need fencing, for example, for the church, look for fencing and describe the vulnerability. Say, well, the church is very open, anybody can easily come in. And then you estimate how much you want to spend, whether you want to spend $12,000 or whatever. Whether you want to fix windows, you got 40 windows. You allocate maybe about $500 to each window, and then multiply that by 40 windows or whatever. So here is where you select the product or the process and match it with vulnerability and then allocate funds to it. This is a big one because you have to make sure you match whatever you say you're going to do, whether you pick an equipment or you pick a police protection or whatever, or the doors or the video camera or the metal detector. You got to look at the second column, which is vulnerability, and then compare, match it with the equipment or whatever you want to do, and then allocate funds to that. You will see that when you get to that point. It's not that difficult, but you just have to work on it. Okay, I'm going to number 42, page 42. Slide number 42. Provide description and association of activities that led to the milestone, event, or period. Let me tell you what they're asking you here. You cannot predict how you're going to do this, because what they're asking you is this. Let me show you what the form looks like. They want you to tell them each activity you're going to do, when you're going to start it, when you're going to finish it. There's no way you can tell, but fill something out there anyway, because they give us a sample. Let me show you what the sample look like. Okay, that's what the sample look like. They started one in 10/01/24, they ended in 1/31. So just put something there in terms of imagination. Well, you started this day, you end it about a month, you end it about 2 weeks. I do not know why they put this in there because you might never get this till next year. So how can you estimate the time that you're going to get started and finished? And then that's kind of bizarre to me anyway. Okay, I'm moving on. Okay, they give you 2 points for this. Include who will manage the project, the name, telephone number, addresses, you or whoever is managing the project for you. You can put their names here. I'm moving on. They want to describe the measurable output and outcome that will indicate that this investment is successful. So here, you've gotten this money, you put the new door in, you put the new secure window in, you got the radio, you got video, camera there. Explain to them that by having all this right now, your church is secured and your members are protected. That's what they want to hear because this is supposed to be for the security and safety of. You want to make sure they're more or less telling you now, you're doing all this stuff right now. Is that going to be a measurable, just like when we do process redesign, you put all these things into places like errors to find design to solve a problem. Then they ask us to go back and measure it. Because if you put all this system in place, you don't measure it, how do you know the outcome? So that's what they're talking about here. Describe the measurable output and the outcomes, So just give them that information based on what you may think. The important thing, though, is that you say the building is secured and the members are safe. Okay. The next one is, have you ever received any NSGP grant before? If you have received the grant before, you can enter it in. If you haven't, just say no, you haven't received the grant before. Moving on. Note that while an IJ investment justification can be completed by a grant writer on behalf of the organization, the bottom of the contact information section, full name, title, and all kinds of stuff, must be the non-profit organization's point of contact that is authorized to submit the application. In other words, they're telling you to make sure the person who is doing this, who got his name on there, is a contact person for your church. Because in case you give it to somebody else to do for you, but the contact person has to be somebody within your organization. Now here they give you the form. Like I said, they always give you form after they describe something. Let me see if I can pull that form up. Okay, good. The form is gone. Your mission statement must be submitted as an attachment to the application through the web grant. This is what I was talking earlier. Write your mission focus on your church letterhead, okay? Save it in your computer, and when you get to that point, you click, it takes you to the computer and upload it and save it. And that is what I did for mine. Like I said, the mission focus, your account, and all other things that they ask for, you can always upload it from your computer. Even your investment justification, you still have to download it to your computer and then fill it out and then upload it onto their website. I will show you where to upload it in a few minutes. Okay, moving on. We're almost done with this one here. And then you can ask all kinds of questions. Financial statement. This is what they say. Applicant must provide the agency most recent audit. If the agency does not have a completed audit or audit is more than 3 years, you can just give financial statements must be submitted. Okay, so you don't have to have audited. I didn't. Okay, there we go again. This happened to be about the 501c3. Remember, if you, as a church, like you said, you don't need it. Now I'm going to bypass about because they have here funding restrictions and allowable cost. You can go through that on your own and look at what is allowed and what is not allowed. But let me show you something that is really cute that I think all of you will love. Okay, and this is on page 57. Okay, hold on now. Let me show you this. On page 57, they said, look at it. You can use 5% of the money for management and administration. When I calculated that, that is $7,500. You can use that for management or administration. I think that is pretty cool. So I leave that rest to your imagination, whoever's going to get that. Okay, now, the next one I'm going to show you, page 62, that showed you, okay, this is what I was talking about earlier. I want you to look at those codes. You say, if you have a mega, whatever this is, they give you a code. Credentialing, they give you codes. All those things are the codes that they have generated. They are also very big on software system in terms of cyber attack. Okay, malware, all this other firewall. But I didn't go into all that. Look at intercom. Like you're going to announce that's an intruder, see the code you have in there. Portable radio, generator, make sure you select generators. I selected two. You know why? Because if the power outage goes in the area, your generator will still be able to supply power to your church and your security system. They also have a supply of uninterrupted power, whichever way you want to do that. Okay. And then here is a system notification. I'm just letting you see how they allocated numbers to those different things that you pick up. Look at system video assessment security, the alarm sensor, fencing. You see the code for sensing, 14SWO, and then look at the system personal package. Sometimes some of them are kind of overlapping, but pick the one that is best suited for your for the issue that you are trying to protect security for. Okay. Where you see one of those things, they're telling you something that is not permitted, something that is permitted, you will see on there. I just try to go simple and then, okay, training. Do you know that they also allocated money for training? Let me show you how much they allocated for training. They allocated 15% for construction and training. That amounted to about 22,500. Let me take you to page 7. You see, the total cost of any construction or renovation paid by the NSGP fund, 15%. That's construction if you have to do one. But the thing is, before you do anything, you're going to have to ask permission from them. They give you about 22,500 for that. Okay. Now, here is another issue you got to be careful about. Look at what he said. You may not use more than 50% of the award to pay for personal activities. Now that is very generous when they almost 50%. They tell you don't use more than that, but I don't know if they will even allow you to use up to that. But I want you to see that 69.70. Let me give you again. Okay, so when you do your planning, don't spend 50% on personal activities. The party won't let you do that anyway. So another good one that I wanted to show you on page 72. Okay, on page 72. On page 72, they allocated 5% to the grant management administration. Somebody that is, let me move this a little up. Okay, somebody that is working on this project for you, the person's supposed to get 7,500. They call it grant management and administration. I will leave the rest to your imagination. Okay. 73. In 73, you can't see it because this thing is covering it up. Let me see if I can move it up. what they're telling you, let me just say, pre-award are not allowed for non-profit organization except anything that is done before you award, they will not cover it except if you ask them for permission. That's what I think is happening in here. Trying to pull that up. Okay. Can do it. Okay, I'm moving on. The rest of this is talking about the scores and questions. You can look that through your own. Now I'm going to go to the next one, which is the web, how to enter Missouri website. Okay, let me show you. This is what the website is going to look like. I want you to see what is on top of it. They say go to. You click that, it will take you to that website. And that is how you put I just get a text from Presiding Elder Kagan. Okay, so here is where you put your ID and password that is being given to you. Okay? Don't just make up any ID. Use the one that is given to you. Like I said, I will not try to change my password because I ran into a lot of problems. I was trying to do that. So from here, it takes you to the form, how to fill it out. And let me show you. Just follow the instruction. And if you follow the instruction, I think you should be fine. Let me show you towards the end. As you finish one, you mark complete. Let me see page 90. So this is what the form look like. It's more or less showing to you. I can't show so many because of this way my computer is designed. Okay, here's what they are telling you. Never mind. This is just list of what they gave to me. Here we go. Start new application. You see that on the right side? Click there. In case some of you who have already had application there before. Select your organization, select additional contacts, save it, general information. These are all the things you do initially when you start your form. General information, contact, energy, project form, and all what you're going to attach. Okay, they ask you to fill out form for authorized official, project director, physical officer, and project contact person. So whichever person in your church you want to put on there for them, God be the glory. I'm moving on. Okay, here they ask you for the agency name, the name of person authorized, supposed to do all this good stuff. And then the person, okay, here comes that stuff again that has the NNGP, the state, or St. Louis or Kansas City, whatever. But this is a tough issue because if you pick the wrong one, you're not going to get it. That's why I was so concerned when I was filling the application. I look at the drop-down box, I saw St. Louis, Kansas City, and state. So I picked state. I don't know whether that is going to be okay. I send a message to them to let me know if it's okay. When you finish one form, mark complete. Okay, this is what your form should look like after you have finished. Where's my pull-up? Okay, I want you to look at the screen. This is very, very important of everything you're going to be doing right now. This is where you upload and attach. On the left, you click that investment justification form. It takes you to your to your computer. Lift it up, open it. You all know how to do that, and then save it on this website. The same thing with your vulnerability assessment that you already did. Remember now, the vulnerability assessment you put on the form is the same one that you put on a page because investment justification is going to be sent to FEMA, but they want to be sure they have a copy of that, so put you on a totally different page. So that's why they have vulnerability 6 assessment. Now your mission focus, I said mission focus, your mission statement, financial statement, and then if you have to put 501c3. They also have somewhere here, like if you have an article you want to include in there, you see those red, if you don't like anything, you can delete it and start all over. So after you finish, you mark complete, and then you submit the application. Any questions? Is anybody there who got a question? Let me also show you something.
Yes,
I have.
Yes,
I have a question.
Okay, hold on for 1 second. Okay, go ahead with your question.
So do this grant also reach to Omaha, Nebraska also?
Nebraska?
Yes.
Well, the one that I'm dealing with here now is the Missouri. I'm sure all the states do have one, So you have to go to your state department and ask them about Nebraska. Because this is Missouri. This is Missouri here. California. See, every state is different. Okay, the way they did it. Because actually the state is the one that is going to manage FEMA. FEMA doesn't manage. The state is the one who manages. And then the state will submit your application to FEMA. When FEMA approve of it, then the money allocation, the state is the one that is still going to manage it for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Reverend Vidal, this is Jackie Payton. I have a question.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out where I get my user ID and password. So once I go to that dpsgrants.dps.mo.gov, do I get the user ID and password there, or do I go somewhere else to get it?
Look at the form I got on the screen. You see this form? This page.
Yes.
You have that, okay. What you do, you go to this page and look for where it says web grant. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, let me show you.
But
you
I
see
think
that? That's the page. You see this page?
Yes.
Okay, that is on that form, that paper. It will take you to this page. And what you do is you click here to register.
Hold on, Reverend Vidal. Hold on. Okay. I'm sorry. Hold on. I was inside of my photos. Okay, now let me get back to the Zoom. Okay, show me the page one more time. I'm sorry.
Remember this page right here?
There's no page.
21 pages that I sent you one before. It's going to be included in what I sent to Elder Kagan.
Okay.
Remember that page? You remember this page, right? Actually, you can get it online when you go to Google. Just type FY 2024 Nonprofit Security Grant Program.
Right.
When this appears, you go here. When anywhere you see web grant, and you click. Just hold on. Let me show other people.
You're not sharing your screen. You're not sharing your screen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was. Hold on for 1 second. Let me. I thought I was sharing the screen. Okay, here we go. Where is that? I think I might have lost that. Oh, here it is, right here. Okay, here. You see it right now? Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. You go to where you find. Okay, here it is, right here. You see that web grant system right there? Below St. Louis urban area?
Yes.
Okay. Just click it. It takes you directly right there.
Okay.
You see that? That is where you're going to register. Click here to register, and you put all the information there. You wait a couple of hours or maybe the next day, and they will send you the username and password. So this is where you do that. And to get that into that file is, what I just said. You can always, what do you call it? You can always Google,
FY24
let me
security grant.
Let me show you again. Oh, this is something else. This is not what I wanted to show you. Okay, hold on for 1 second. Okay, here we go. The form, everybody write it down. The form is FY 2024 Non-for-Profit Security Grant Program. Notice of Funding Opportunity, NOFO. You can go to Google and just look for, put it on the
search bar. Search bar.
Yeah, put it on the search bar.
Yeah.
It's been a long day.
It's easy to find. Yep.
Put it on search bar and then you will see it, and then you come all the way down here, because this might be tasking if you don't know how to get there, because it might take you to, don't go to FEMA. Okay, so under St. Louis urban area, you will see the blue thing that says web grant system, and if you click it, boom, it takes you to that. You see, all of you see that? Okay, let me do a little bit of summary for you here, very quickly. If I can find, maybe I lost it. I think I closed it up. Let me see if I can open it back up again. Come on. Here we go. Okay, I just want to give you a very brief overview here. Okay, here we go. Okay, I just want to give you a very, very quick overview. The first thing you do is you register with the state of Missouri. You'll obtain your username and then the password. It takes a while for them to send you both the username and password. Do this during work hours, then you'll be able to get information. Re-enter the system and put the information about your church and yourself on there. 4 documents to be concerned about. This is just overview. First, your church mission statement, your church risk assessment, 1-year church financial report, and investment justification form. The only one you have to fill out is the investment justification form. The rest, you can provide for them as a document that you upload from your computer into the state system. You upload the investment justification form also from your computer, with the PDF. Like I said, you can open it with Adobe. Make sure you use the investment justification form that says year 2024. If you use any other one that is not year 2024, you're going to be nullified out. Download the form into your computer using the Adobe program, and then use Adobe program to open it. Highlights. These are some hints that might help you. Go through the investment justification form and write all your answers to your computer. Watch out for the points allocated to each section on the investment justification form. It is easier to cut and paste to answer the questions that think about until while you're filling the form out. Now, here's another problem, though. Pay attention to this. When you get to fax number, because somebody was having that problem at day 2, put 0000 there if you don't have that number. And they keep on asking you fax number or any number they ask you, or even date. If you don't have it, boom, just enter 000 on there. We'll let you go. For your password and username, don't try to change it. I'm telling you, I went through a lot trying to change it. So that's another issue. Now, if you want to change it, fine. After you submit your application, you can change your password and username. I just think that is one hurdle that you do not need, because sometimes you can get stuck with that system. Be consistent with the information you give them. If you are not consistent, you're going to get yourself in a lot of trouble. Your risk assessment is divided into 3 segments. We talk about the threat, vulnerability, and potential consequences. Be able to match your church vulnerability in 3B with the action that you're going to take in 4B. I will send all these documents to Elder Kager, and I pray that he can send it to all of you. So if you don't write anything down, don't worry about it. Select security products and allocate money to each section. Select each code on the form that matches your security products. Okay. Anybody got any? I'm trying to, let me close this up.
Excellent presentation, Reverend Vidal. Excellent, very precise. You had good examples, and I think I can do it. As soon as I get off the phone, I'm gonna go ahead and go to their website so I can get the username and password.
Amen. Anybody else got any other question?
Reverend Vidal, Laura Johnson from Power of Faith. Is this a grant? Is this an annual grant, meaning that since we're, the deadline is Friday, is this something that they do every year? So we can look forward to doing it in 2025. And when are the forms available for 2025?
So far, I have seen them done it 3 years in a row. So I'll be sure that they will do it again next year. Yes.
And any idea when those forms for 2025 will be available?
Well,
so we won't be.
Well, we always ask for the state to let us know. They just told us about this a couple of weeks ago because people have been waiting for it. So the state, they will announce it, whenever it's ready.
Okay, thank you.
So we don't know actually the exact time. They don't know themselves. It depends on when the Congress allocate the money.
Okay, all right.
Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to stop.
Stop recording?
Yeah.